HAFEZ TV live rants from traffic jam. Here I am stuck in an immense amount of traffic trying to get to the other side of London. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it into the central for the protests and the covers of all that nonsense. I'll be honest, I saw Lewis Errington and CP Report's coverage of the Palestinian lot was pointless and useless. But the trans stuff, I should have gone there. That would have been more interesting, actually. I was much more interested in the transies. That might have been a bit more useful. I don't know. At the moment, I am trying. My God, the traffic in this town is just taking the piss. Absolutely taking the piss. It's beyond taking the piss now. It's ridiculous. Thank you, Mr. Khan. Thank you for putting tolls on all our bridges and all the tunnels in London. Thank you for just turning the place into an absolute shithole. Knife crime through the roof. Can't hold your phone in your hand. Yeah, gotta love it. Gotta love that diversity. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, beginning the slight rant. Hello, Vacation City. Hello, Lewis. Oh, Lewis, big up, Lewis. Good coverage today, mate. I saw that. It was awesome. Good stuff. I'm sorry, I'm stuck in a world of traffic. I literally don't think I'm going to even make it to where I want to go by like 6 o'clock today. And I set off an hour ago. So yeah, man, it's a nightmare getting around London. And unfortunately, I need to. I should have done it last night. Should have gone to across the water, if you like, last night. It's just a nightmare right now. Anyway, what was I going to say? It kicked off with me and the protesters. I saw a little bit. I didn't see much of it. I mean, I saw them blocking you. Did it actually like kick off in the sense of like fists and shouting and screaming, or just I didn't see all of it because I wasn't watching all of it all the time. I was flicking between you and actual coverage that was covering the transes. And actually, this particular car rant is going to be more about the transes, because the Palestinian thing is the same old at the moment. It's pretty much the same shit, unless your event was a bit more different, you know, when they kicked off with you, unless that caused some extra excitement. The rest is just it's a very just typical free from the river to the sea. My ass needs to be free. So anyway. The transes was quite interesting, because the transes have like had a couple of hard blows to their ideology recently, and I was actually interested in going there and asking if anybody's seen Michael Bay or maybe what's his name, Michael Warburg. Is it Michael Warburg? Yeah, I think it's Michael Warburg. Anyway, you know, anyone from the Transformers movie, because I've heard that there's a bunch of Transformers here. Should have done that. That would have been awesome, actually. I'm sure there'll be another couple of. I'm sure I'll get another shot at this transes lobbies guys, because these guys are going to be. They're going to be protesting, I'm sure, a couple of more times. But yeah, the trans testicles have had a bit of a blow to their ideology and to their essentially to, you know, it was a win for rationality, really, a win for human beings simply being sensible. Now, we still have those judges that are sensible in our courts, by the looks of things, the Supreme Court, etc. But for how long? Because let's be honest, it's only going to be a matter of a few years, maybe five, I think maybe 5 to 10 years. I wouldn't even think it'll reach 10 years, where we'll have all these millennials, these trans ideologues, who are going to be going for these Supreme Court positions. They're going to be the judges. By the way, I predicted this 2016, 2017, where eventually there will be I ranted about it, but you know, nobody gives a shit about the fact that it's only a matter of time where you have activist judges in your courts. So if you depend on judges to make the judgments on how things are going to go, and what is legally allowed or what is legally defined, then eventually these trans testicles are going to be your judges. So how long is it you think it's going to be? They're not going to suddenly become something. These people are brainwashed. This is now a cult, and it's like a religion. So if in the church of woke, eventually you're going to get priests and bishops and, you know, what's it called, popes in the church of woke. They're going to take positions because they are clever about these things, the same as the Muslims. Muslims are positioning themselves in legal avenues, in houses of commons, in your church, in your law firms, in your judges, what else? Your mayors. You know, they're putting themselves in positions of power and influence, and the fact that they can actually change the course of your cities, your towns, and eventually your country. Well, if Muslims are making those moves, well, you think the trans testicles don't have the same aspirations? The communists, they know the game the same as everyone else. So they're going to start putting their people in those positions as well. Because, as I said, this thing has now gone beyond just a bunch of kids being idealistic when they're young. You know, they say if you're young and you're not a communist, you don't have a heart. If you're mature and you're not a Republican, you don't have a brain. And that's the way it used to be, where young communist kids would grow up to become sensible adults and sensible judges and lawyers and mayors and politicians, because they would grow up and they'd have responsibility and they'd recognize that those lofty communist aspirations were ridiculous. But we don't have that anymore. We have a cult, we have a religion, and once you're indoctrinated into this cult, into this religion, you don't just get out of it, you don't just grow out of it. It will reinforce itself over. This is why people don't, simply grow up and grow out of Catholicism or out of Islam. Kids don't just grow up and grow out of Islam. No, they become sometimes even more fanatic as they get older. Cults and religious type of things have a much more profound impact upon a young mind than simply being a lofty, wishy-washy communist and wearing a Che Guevara t-shirt when you're at uni. And smoking weed. It's a whole entire different ball of game that we're playing now. Hey, Power Dusty, big up, Beats and Taps. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be even looking at this. It's totally illegal. Anyway, big up to everyone in the chat. Love the fact that you guys made it. Hit that like button if you're here. It would really help us out. So yeah, the fact of the matter is that when you're raised in the church of woke, you don't grow out of that. You're not gonna give it up when you're in your 20s and your 30s and 40s. You're not gonna just walk away from it. You are. I mean, not everyone. I mean, there will be some. The same as some people who become apostates of Islam. The same as some people who give up Christianity or Catholicism or whatever religion that they were indoctrinated in as a child. Some get out of it, but a lot stay in it. And the Church of Woke is going to have its high priests and high bishops and popes, and those people are going to position themselves in supreme courts, in high courts, crown courts, wherever you would normally have sensible, you would rely on the sensible people to make sensible decisions. So this trans thing, I don't think it's going away. I think the transes have had a bit of a blow. A bit of a body blow, if you will, maybe a crutch shot, maybe a below the belt blow. The fact is that yes, for now they've had a bit of a blow in Britain. There is some pushback against the whole trans ideology in the United Kingdom, in America, obviously with Trump. So yes, the trans ideology, and I think that's because the trans is simply push their luck. They went after the kids. And they really played their hand badly on that one. They shouldn't have gone after the kids so quick, so early on in their, if you like, maybe it was a bit of a hubris. I think there was a bit of hubris. There was a bit of like, we got this, because they saw the massive progress that the LGBT LGBT community made, the gay and lesbian and bisexual community, they made massive strides in only a few decades to get equality. And you know, sitting on their shoulders, the trans ideology thought that they could do the same, but they went after the kids. Now, the one thing I will say, the gays never really outwardly went after your kids. You know, sure, if they said, you know, your kid's gonna, I mean, there's probably a lot more gay kids in schools running around open gay at school now than they ever were in my time, or in any other stage in our history. You probably, you know, there are gay kids all over the place. I mean, there were kids in our school that we knew they were kind of gay. Like, the kid is like, okay, this one's a do funny, but nobody would, you know, there was, it's like, you know, what's it called? We speak no evil, hear no evil kind of thing. You don't talk about it, but we all know it. I mean, we all know it is. So that's how it was. Nobody really cared if the dude was, but he just wasn't a hairy fairy floating around the school all day, just openly like gay, and we didn't have anyone like openly kiss each other. You know, two boys kiss each other on the mouth, two girls make out with each other. We didn't have any of that. We did have, you know, hetero guys and girls, you know, kissing behind the bike shed kind of thing. But even heterosexual boys and girls were not openly just tonguing each other in the hallways of school. So I mean, you know, generally open displays of affection wasn't even a thing in my time during school. Although we knew, I'd say, yeah, you know, all the 14-15-year-olds would be disappearing behind the sports area, you know, the halls behind any building in order to do a bit of making out session during lunchtime or whatever. So those things happened, but it wasn't like in everybody's faces. I think that's what's the main thing. But now I guess it's a lot more in your face, I would imagine. You know, the gay guys and the gay girls are all about the gayness, all about the pride. And the thing is, the teachers are encouraging it anyway. They're in America a lot. I don't know, let's say I don't really know much about British schools, but in America, you know, they got their pride flag all up in the classroom. So either way, the gay issue made tremendous strides in a very short amount of time, but the trans thing wasn't the same. And I think the transes thought that they could make the same level of push towards getting the kids involved on the same level as gay community did, the gay lesbian community. And they didn't realize, I mean, because with the trans thing, I mean, see, being a gay guy or a gay woman, a lesbian, you don't do anything to yourself. You're not biologically, you know, you're not chopping your Christ, I can't talk. Anatomy. You're not chopping off bits of your anatomy, perfectly healthy bits of your body. You're not castrating yourself. You're not sterilizing yourself. You're gay. You're not sterilized. You can still have children as a gay person. You just can't reproduce if you're in a homosexual relationship. That's not going to happen. But if you switch up to a hetero, you're not castrated. You're not sterilized. But these transes, they started chopping bits and bobs off kids, giving them hormone blockers, which are essentially castration pills, which they give to PDF files to chemically castrate them. That's what chemical castration is the drugs they give to trans kids. So yeah, they started to really mess with children and guilt parents into doing things to their kids, which is horrific and just unbelievably horrifying. And these parents, I guarantee you, there's a lot of parents out there who are torn up about this. Like, you believe that they can't believe that they allowed themselves to be duped into this bullshit and let their, you know, and essentially harm their own children in the cause of trying to keep their, you know, I don't know, appease their children. See, this is the problem with the generation of being told no. You see, this is really the crux of it when it comes to these transes. When I was watching these Transformers demonstrate today, it struck me that this is a bunch of millennials and Gen Zs who have never been told no. This is the participation trophy generation. You give participation trophies to your child, never tell him no, never let him feel the pain of losing, of failure, as if that is the greatest sin that a parent can ever commit, is to allow their child to actually feel that they are not good enough to do something. The fact that they failed and they came second, they came third, they didn't rank at all. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The fact is, I'm amazed because computer games let you force you to fail all the time. That you lose constantly. I've been playing like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 recently. I don't know. I was around my brother's and he was playing the PS5 version of World War II Call of Duty, and it just got me all hyped up about Call of Duty again. So I got back into it, and I've got old school equipment. So I've got Modern Warfare 3, the old one. Anyway, you fail constantly in those. You know the amount of times I get headshotted? You would think that millennials and Gen Zs playing computer games and failing and losing, but persisting, respawning, going at it again. Well, those are life lessons too. You learn that from playing football, playing sports of any sort. You lose, you fail, you fall, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you go again. That is the core of how a person's character is molded. You need StreamYard. I have StreamYard Condo. It's just I don't run it like this. I just don't do it on a panel thing. But what I'm saying is, as a whole, people you shouldn't aspire to fail, but you should embrace failure. Failure teaches you things. If you always win, if you always are told you're great, you have nothing to fix, you will never grow, you will never change as a person, and you'll have no character. You'll be this hollow, characterless, shallow individual, which ironically seems to be a lot of the people in this modern world anyway. A lot of your YouTube influencers are just shallow, hollowed out individuals who have had no experience of real life whatsoever. They're just these fake people pretending to have a life on Instagram and whatever social media platform. They have no character to themselves. They have no life experiences. The reason, I think there's so many levels that this gets affected. The society gets affected. For example, if you look at modern day Hollywood writers, when they write these movies, like these modern day movies, recently I watched like 4 movies that were horrifically bad. Just terrible fucking films. Wasted my hours of time thinking that I was gonna, have a positive movie experience, and they were just horrific. I had to go back and watch old ass movies just to get a sense of like there were great movies at one time in the world. I have to watch old movies now because new movies are so shit. So many of them are terrible. There's hardly any good films being made these days. And that's because Hollywood writers are essentially millennials and Gen Zs. They have no character. They have no life experience to draw upon. So what do they draw upon? They draw upon these ridiculous, shallow bullshit social media bollocks. I mean, the new movie G20. There's a new movie come out by Netflix, I think. It's called G20. I haven't even seen it, and from what I've seen is god awful. It is absolutely unbelievable. They basically thought to themselves, we make Die Hard, we'll take Die Hard and we'll take Olympus Has Fallen and we'll mash it together and we'll make some movie out of it, and we'll make the woman the bad bitch or the boss bitch, the protagonist, and she's not only the boss bitch of the movie, she's not only the McClane of the movie, but she's also the president of the United States. But unlike Olympus Has Fallen, the president isn't being protected by a badass. The president is the badass. So if Morgan Freeman was kicking ass I don't think. I think Morgan Freeman was in the second one. Was the president? I think in the first one it was. I think London's fallen or whatever. Anyway, but yeah, we'll make the president a female, black, boss babe, badass, John McClane of the whole thing. It's like the combination of just ridiculous crap, and the writing is god awful. At least from what I hear, because I still haven't seen the movie, so I can't honestly give you a fair review, but it's just from what I've heard and what I hear about how it was all put together. It's the fact that these are written by hollow people, shell of a people. These people have no experience. There's a reason why Lord of the Rings, the originals, not this crap that they try to redo, the original Lord of the Rings is such a masterpiece. There's a reason why works from George Orwell, are such amazing masterpieces. 1984, The Time Machine, etc., etc. Animal Farm. These are amazing books and stories because these people lived a life. They did something before they started putting that stuff on paper. They had already lived a life. Some of these people were like fighter pilots and shit. I forgot which one it was. I don't know if it was Orwell or one of these authors. They were like fucking generals and not generals, but sergeant majors and shit in the Second World War. They've seen shit. They've seen death and blood and guts, kids with their bodies torn apart on the battlefield. That builds you as a man, as an individual. It gives you character. You can't just live your entire life in Hollywood, LA, and think you've got some kind of character to write stories for. That's why the stories are shit, because they haven't lived, they haven't done anything, they haven't been anywhere. So how can they draw on life experiences to write anything decent? Yeah. Anyway, all I'm saying is, here's a bunch of trans people who've never been told no, who've never been told, no, you're not allowed this. This isn't for you. And so that's why they're bitching and crying like little children in the streets. They're gonna throw their toys on the floor of the supermarket and start crying, because to them that's the only way they get their way. That's the only way they've ever got their way, is to cry and scream, wah, wah, I want my rights, I want my rights. Now I know why Andrew Wilson talks about you don't really have rights. Rights don't exist. They are just constructs of society that says you can do these things. But the fact is that those same rights, those same society can construct and tell you, no, you can't do these things. Those rights can be taken away from you just as easily. But the fact is that these rights that were supposedly given to these trans people were not rights that they should have had in the first place. No, as a man with a dick, you don't have the right to... Sorry guys, I gotta make a turn here. I gotta know where the fuck am I? Okay, I have no idea where I am right now. I think I know where I am. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how things go. Still not quite sure. Ah, yes, I think I know where I am. Shit, I should have gone straight. Anyway, yeah, as a man with a penis, you don't have the right to go into the women's spaces. You don't. I'm sorry, you don't have that right. This is a line in the sand, and you will not cross it. You don't get to do this thing. You know, just suck it up, buttercup. Suck it up. And the same with many other things. There's a lot of shit that I would love to... You know what? I would love to be in a World Cup final for England, for Brazil. Actually, I support Brazil, really, but England even. I would love to play in the World Cup final for England and score the winning goal and win the World Cup for England. I would love to do that. But am I ever going to get to do that? Hell to the no. No. Someone's gonna go, no. You're not gonna be on the pitch. Even if England makes it to the final, which they very rarely do. And in fact, I don't think they've made it to the final of. Have they made? Did they? Yeah, no, they made it to the final this last World Cup, didn't they? I think they did. I can't remember. But yes, even if you make it to the final, they're not gonna let me on the pitch. It's a no. It's a thing that I can never do. I can never play for the NBA. Those cards are not on the table for me. I can never score the winning goal for the World Cup final for England. Those are just things that it will never happen. I have to live with that. I have to take that in and recognize the boundaries in which life has dealt me, the cards that the cards that have been dealt for me, and play the cards that I have. And if you're a man who has the uncontrollable instincts or uncontrollable urge to dress up as a woman and call yourself Cindy, fine. Dress up as a woman. Call yourself Cindy. I'll call you Cindy. Hell, I'll even refer to you as Princess. But when I go to the fucking toilet, you better be standing next to me in the urinals. Because you ain't sharing the women's toilets. That's not on the cards for you. If I can't play in the NBA, you're taking a piss in the men's toilets. That's how it's going to go down, boys and girls. So the word no is what's going to come your way. I mean, in all honesty, you know, they say art imitating life. In the case of Little Britain, truly life has now imitated art. Where there was this sketch they have in Britain, there's a comedy show called Little Britain, which will never be made again, especially with the kind of things that they did. They will never allow that to ever be made ever again. Maybe if social media independent millionaires, maybe if Mr. Beast allows it, funds it or something, I don't know. But no commercial outlet like the BBC or ITV will ever allow such a thing to ever be made. But there was a sketch that they had in that where this guy, he dressed like a 18th century, not 18th century, 1800s Victorian lady. He would literally dress up as that and call himself a lady. I'm a lady. I do ladies things. And then he goes to a swimming pool where he tries to get into the ladies' changing room because he's a lady. And the guy at the counter just goes, no, you are going to go. You have to use the men's changing room. And he keeps going, but I'm a lady. I'm a lady. Yeah, that's how it is, boys. I don't give a shit whether you call yourself Cindy or Barbie or Patricia or Princess. You're taking the piss in the men's urinals. That's where you're gonna go to lash out, to release yourself, to drain the snake, because you have a snake. If you didn't have a snake, then, I mean, the thing is, you see, this is where things get a bit difficult. Because, again, I love the transes. I love Sophia Lewis. I admire what Blair White has been doing. And I have no real problem with the transes. But unfortunately, I mean, Sophia, for example, she's had the top and bottom. So do you expect her to really go into a man's toilet? I don't know. I still think she should. But it's going to be fucking weird. But the thing is, I would rather for Sophia to go into the men's toilets and go into a stall and just sit down and take a piss in there amongst the men than to risk the opportunity of a pervy, weirdy, beardy fucking bloke who pretends to be a woman, who has autogynephilia, to go and perv on the girls and you know, my mom and daughters and sisters and whatever in the women's. I can't. I'm sorry. Sometimes sacrifices have to be made. Sometimes someone like Blair White or Sophia Lewis. I mean, you guys don't know who Sophia is. She was a trans girl who came to Speaker's Corner. But yeah, you know, Blair White. Everybody should know her. I would rather for her to have to go into a men's toilet and sit in a stall, or, I mean, she's got the cock and balls, she can probably piss at the urinals too. And for us to be a little bit weirded out by it, than to risk having weirdos, perverts, going to women's spaces and changing rooms. I'm sorry. If those are the alternatives, even though they say, oh, man, we're trans people get beaten up, that's bullshit. I don't think if a trans woman, a trans person, a man into a woman, even if they look 100% female, if they go into a men's toilet, men will be a little bit thrown back a little bit. To begin with, yes, we're going to be a little bit like, whoa, am I in the... In fact, most of the time, it's us men who are paranoid, who think we've walked into the wrong fucking toilet. I've walked into, accidentally just sort of went into the archway of a woman's toilet once, and then suddenly realized, oh my God, this is the wrong toilet, and I just like jolted myself backwards. But the fact of the matter is that us men are going to be more afraid walking into a woman's toilet, or thinking that this trans person in here is actually, we're going into the wrong toilet, than if they're in the toilet and we know it's the men's and we just go in and just thing. We don't give a shit. Men and women, this is the other part, is not hardly ever talked about. Men and women have entirely different experiences in the toilets, and to some extent even in the changing rooms. I'll be perfectly honest. We go to the toilet. It's a functional event. Okay, it's a functional, pragmatic event. We go in there because we have something we have to relieve. Either we have to take a shit or we have to relieve our bladder. But we have to do this thing, and it's a thing we have to do. It's not a choice. Believe me, if I had a choice, I despise public toilets. I despise public toilets. If I could hold my shit in for 3 days before I get home and take a shit, I would. But I can't. So it has to come out. But believe me, if I could hold my piss in even, I would. Because I despise public toilets. I despise taking a piss around other human beings. It's just gross to me. And in fact, they're also taking the piss and, splashing, and God knows what else is going on. I'm having to literally, walking into a toilet is a public toilet, is you are walking on people's urine. You know that. You know you're walking on people's urine. You know the sole of your shoe is caked with people's urine and possible fecal matter even. Because there's a lot of people who have fecal matter underneath their fingernails. Because they don't fucking wash their hands. So I despise public toilets in general. But if I had to go in knowing that there may be some dude who looks like a woman, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. And I would take that bullet over having some weirdy, pervy motherfucker with autogynephilia going into women's toilets and changing rooms. And here's another thing about changing rooms. Fuck the changing rooms. Oh, you perverts can't fucking go into the changing room. You better keep your fucking shit out of those changing rooms for fucking damn sure. Oh, one other thing about women's bathroom habits. As I said, for men, it's a functional event. We go, we do our thing, we leave. We barely talk to anyone. I barely even talk to the dude who sells you chewing gum and aftershave. I swear to God, I barely even want to talk to that Nigerian. But women, it's a different event entirely. Women's activities, it's an event for women when they go to the toilet. It's like a social gathering in that fucking thing. I mean, I don't even know why you'd want to have a social gathering where people are shitting and pissing, but that's what it is for women. They go in there, they meet up, they catch up on shit, they redo their makeup. It's a whole fucking thing for them. So for women in toilets, it's a social event. And you know how I know that? Because I did a reply to this woman who became a man, a trans man, and she was crying her eyes out about how lonely it is being a man. That when they go to toilet, when men go to the toilet, they don't talk to each other. They don't interact with each other. They just got their head down, they look at their penis, they take a piss, and they get the fuck out. Hopefully wash their hands in between. Or when they when they going to take a shit, they're just going to take a shit. It's that's it. They go in, they do their thing, they leave. They don't socialize, they don't talk, they don't chit chat. And she was pissed at that. She was upset that going to the men's toilet is a lonely event. It's an event for functional reasons only. And I'm like, welcome to the fucking male condition. Congratulations. You have now entered manhood. And she hated it, absolutely hated it. She was crying how lonely it is being a man. I'm like, you fucking welcome. You wanted to wear those pants. You thought we had all male privileges. Yeah, here's some. Enjoy some of that male privilege. Enjoy having women look at you like you're nothing but dirt. You're so fucking low because you're not the Adonis that they approve of. Welcome to having people just avoid you and not even look you in the eye sometimes when you walk in the street. They don't even want to fucking look you in the eye. Women looking over their shoulders when you're walking behind them, and you thinking to yourself, fuck me, I gotta overtake this woman as fast as possible because she's gonna think I'm some sort of stalker raper. So you start walking faster than you even want to just to pass this woman so that she's not worried about you catching up on behind her. I don't know about you, I don't know about anyone else, but I've literally had those experiences where I'm walking and there's a woman walking in front of me and it's kind of night or whatever, it's like 7-8 o'clock at night, and I start to get paranoid. I'm like, oh my god, now she thinks I'm some sort of stalker. I'm just walking the same way as you're walking, love. I'm not actually following you. So I start to walk faster. I start to speed fucking walk that shit in order to overtake her, so that I'm not behind her anymore, so she can relax. I start having these fucking thoughts. Like, oh my god, I'm constantly, I mean, it's not constant, but I'm always conscious of making women feel awkward, making women feel fearful. Because women generally do feel fearful. We are their number one predators in society. I mean, let's be honest, in these modern societies, women don't really have any natural predators. There's no lions and tigers jumping at us from the bushes. So men are the most obvious predator that a woman has to fear now in modern city society. Yeah, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. You know, it's just a thing. But yeah, anyway, I digress. As I said, generally, I just don't want. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Changing rooms. Oh my God, there was one time I was in a changing room, and now I will say a lot of gyms are kind of, you know, occupied by a lot of gay guys. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. A lot of gay guys seem to meet up in gyms. They seem to hook up, or they seem to sort of, you know, meet each other and date each other through, you know, people they go to the gym with. And me and my friends, we used to go to the work friends. We used to go to the gym a lot. It was right next to our work, and during our like lunch breaks and stuff. And we used to do a lot of boxing and stuff. And then, you know, we were getting changed. Now, this guy that we used to see fairly regularly, clearly a gay man, while I had just come out the shower, I had the towel around my waist, pretty much naked apart from the towel, and this man is naked, cock and balls, just hanging out, just started having a conversation with us, just me and this other friend of mine from New York. And that guy, proper Italian New Yorker, like, you fucking what? You fucking fuck, you know, that kind of New York accent, New York Italian, amazing guy, love him. Anyway, he just, this gay guy with his cock and balls just dangling in front of us, and I'm just like awkwardly trying to dry myself. And I mean, I hate public changing rooms as well. It's the same issues. I just don't like to be naked in front of other men. I started to dry myself and get my underwear on, and this dude is just talking, and my mate just turns around and goes, "Look, buddy, we don't talk in the changing rooms, okay? We're just getting changed here." Just straight up, like, shut the fuck up, put your clothes on, get the fuck out. What are you doing? This is like some sort of social fucking gathering? I'm gonna get a couple of drinks with your cock and balls in my face. Just put your fucking clothes, at least put on a pair of underwear. What is it with these men who are so, some men are just way too comfortable. with their naked bodies in front of other human beings. Okay, I just want to say that for those of you in the gym who think that you can just waltz around butt naked whilst you air dry your cock and balls, the rest of us are incredibly uncomfortable. Just know that if you're that guy who's just way too comfortable with your cock and balls air drying in the changing rooms, we don't appreciate it. We really don't. We would rather you have underwear. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, generally, yeah, again, no, if you're a trans, you're not doing this. You're not socializing with the ladies in the changing rooms, okay? Get your ass into the men's. I don't care even if you put on 14 pounds of makeup in the men's changing room and put your frock on. I don't get the wig, the everything. You can put everything on, as long as you do it in the men's. Or go to the fucking, I don't know, I guess some sort of, if they supply you with some sort of a disabled changing area, but just don't do it in front of the kids, the ladies and the little girls. I'm sorry, I just can't. I'll be honest with you, I'm even somewhat worried sometimes when there are little kids, like boys, in the men's changing room, and there are some, you know, potential pervs around. I'm even concerned for them, but you know, that's their father's issue. They have to take care of it. Let the fathers handle it. But nevertheless, yeah, it's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. I'm sorry, transes. Roman aesthetics. People need to go. Roman aesthetics. Yeah, man, I don't know. Maybe because I'm from the Middle East. Maybe I was raised in an environment that is a lot more oppressive towards your nakedness, just to hang around butt naked. But I can't do it. I can't be around men who are just butt naked, just dangling around. It's weird. I don't go to, you know, I mean, I've never been to a naked sauna. I've never been to a naked beach. I just, no, I don't want to. I don't. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Most people are fucking hideous naked. Let's get that one out. Most people are not pretty naked. I mean, you know, women, even women with like pretty faces and stuff, they take their clothes off and they're hideous. Their body is just flabby, and it's like all the cellulite is all in the wrong places. So let's not kid ourselves. We don't, you know, the minute you take off your clothes, you're not gonna look like an Adonis. You're not Arnie at the Olympia. Most people are just horrifically ugly, and we don't really need that. We don't need to see that. Only the one who's about to have some kind of coital relation with you may be able to withstand your ugly, flabby body. I don't want anyone seeing this. You think I want anyone actually seeing this under the clothes? Hell no. Most poor women who have to actually endure this, by that point it's too late. They've already committed to me and they're in love. They have to take it. They don't have a choice. They're at the point of coital interaction. They've already committed to this. They already know what they're getting. They know what they signed up for at that point. So they're gonna see it all in its glory. But I don't have to subject that to other human beings, other boys, men and women. They don't need to see this shit. Admittedly, us men, we do. I mean, I don't wear like a top when I'm in the swimming pool. Most people have seen most of this hideousness, but they don't have to like endure the crotch area. At least they don't have to add that to their mental memory. Anyway, I don't know. I have nothing else to say. Who else is here? Anyone? I know I should really do a StreamYard. This will be a good panel conversation, to be honest. But I didn't do it. It is what it is. Anyway, guys, that powder noses. yeah, I know, it's insane. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end this craziness. I'm almost to my destination. I will see you all next time. Peace.